hand. Has that changed a little bit? Do you kind of wish for time to move faster? What is it like in the hours before a big round like this?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the mornings are typically kind of long. I did my best to sleep in. Can only do so much of that with a 1-year-old at home. But yeah, I think it's always simpler for me once I get to the golf course. I'm in my routine, and playing golf for me is always, I think, the easier part. Like once you get out here, it's time to compete and it's time to do your thing, and that's what really is the most fun. Being able to play in the final group of a major championship and play with the lead and have a chance to win is, the most fun that I'll have in my career, I think, outside of maybe the team events. But at the end of the day, I was excited for today. I was a little bit anxious. You work your whole lifetime to have a chance to win these tournaments, and I had a great opportunity to win one today. And, sometimes I think, yeah, you're right. Maybe you just want to get out there and start playing. But I don't know.
When you threw your hat on the green afterward, that kind of cathartic moment, obviously it's happiness that you won, but what else, what other emotions are in that?
Yeah, just a lot of happiness. I think, maybe thankful as well. It was a long week. I felt like this was as hard as I've battled for a tournament in my career. This was a pretty challenging week. The first 2 days I did not swing at my best, and I was able to post a score somehow. And, outside of the last 5 holes yesterday, that's where I really kind of put myself ahead in the tournament. And, the back nine today was pretty special as well. But yesterday, the way I finished off that round, I think it was really important for me to have a lead to play with today. And, I played with it a little bit more than I would have liked to. I think at one point in the tournament, I was tied for the lead on the back nine, but stepped up when we needed to, and it was a pretty special week.
Stay right here on 7 with James.
Scottie, I know you spend a lot of time really focusing on staying present, but I'm wondering, do you have any big career goals?
Not really. I don't focus on that kind of stuff. I love coming out here and trying to compete and win golf tournaments, and that's what I'm focused on. And after this week, I'm going to go home and get ready for next week's tournament, and the show goes on. If I show up and miss a cut next week, I'm going to have to answer questions of what went wrong, and just start over again on Thursday. So that's one of the things that can be frustrating about our game, but that's also what's great about our game. If I had a tough day today and came in with a loss, I can step back up on the tee Thursday next week and have another chance to win a tournament. And it's an endless pursuit, and it's a lot of fun, and it's definitely one of the great joys of my life, being able to compete out here.
Would you categorize yourself as having competitive fire?
Yeah.
Let's go next to 3, 14, and 12.
Sort of building on that, some athletes just want to win, others want to kind of crush the opponent. Where do you fall on that continuum?
That's a tough question to answer. Winning is a lot of fun, and I think winning as often as I can is a lot of fun. And each week you're playing in a tournament, you want to try and give yourself a chance to win. And when I step up on the tee on Thursday, I'm not thinking about what's going to happen on Sunday. I'm preparing for a 72-hole event. That's what I tell myself on the first tee. It's 72 holes, and that's a lot of time. That's a lot of holes. It's a lot of shots. And, I always focus on my preparation. And so when I show up on the first tee, I just tell myself to stay patient, remind myself that I'm prepared for this, and to go out and just compete.
But then you get to the back nine, and you're in a dogfight with one player. How much do you want to beat that guy?
How many guys are in the field this week? 156? You got to beat 155 guys if you want to be sitting up here. There's a lot of guys you got to beat, and I knew somebody was going to make a move today. There's too much talent in the game of golf right now for me to just be able to kind of slap the ball around today with a 3-shot lead, and 3 shots in 18 holes is really not that much. I gave that up, I think, in 9 holes today. But overall, I was proud of how I stepped up on the back nine and hit the shots when I needed to. It was a big birdie I made on 10, hit really quality shots on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, really, and, was able to build up a lead and kind of play pretty conservative the last 3 holes, and, 2 nice up and downs around 16, 17, and then I, was able to kind of slap it around there on 18.
Scottie, congratulations. Soren from Denmark here. I'm interested in how you get so good at something. So my question for you is, what is it that fires you up about winning so much? What is it that makes you want to get out there and just win?
When I think about the game of golf, my favorite thing to do in golf is probably just when I can be by myself and I can just practice. It's one of the most fun things for me. It's so peaceful. And I love the pursuit of trying to figure something out. That's what I love about this game. And I feel like you're always battling yourself, and you're always trying to figure things out, and you're never going to perfect it. And, I can be, kind of a crazy person sometimes when it comes to putting my mind to something. And in golf, there's always something you can figure out. There's always something you can do better. And, it's a great challenge, and, it's a lot of fun.
Scottie, you've obviously won the Masters twice, but the first time you've won one of the other majors, does it feel like you've overcome something at all to sort of win a major at one of the other courses? I know obviously you've won at these courses a lot on the tour, but just to win a major somewhere else, does it feel like a bit of a step, and will it lead to more now, do you think?
I feel like I've won on some different types of tracks. This is a golf course where it was a big golf course. This would be a golf course that would lean more towards a bomber, and I'm not necessarily a bomber out here. I'm above average in length. I hit it far enough, I would say, but I'm definitely not a bomber per se. And so this is a golf course in which, the fairways are pretty big. The greens are fairly big as well, but the spots you got to hit to are quite small. And, I did a good job this week of staying patient and hitting the important shots really well. I felt like the holes in which I needed to hit really good shots, I was able to do that, and that's why I'm sitting here.
Go down here to Mike 2, then 1.
Yeah. When you made the turn and you're down to 9, you're tied with John, you're kind of fighting the lefts. Are you able to like totally stay in your process and be like sort of mentally the same as you would be, or are you like fighting off some nasty thoughts like, am I gonna let this slip away? Am I blowing this? Or are you just totally able to maintain like your usual focus?
Well, kind of what I reminded myself at the turn was I had a bite to eat, and I told myself if I keep making good swings, I'm not going to continue to hit the ball left every time. Statistically speaking, and so, I just tried to get up there on number 10 and hit a good shot, and that's really all I was thinking about. I was just trying to get the ball in the fairway, and I knew I needed 9 really good holes, and I hit a good tee shot on 10, good approach shot, and I executed. From then on, fairway on 11, really good iron shot, fairway on 12, really good iron shot on 13, good tee ball on 14, good birdie there, 2 great shots on 15. From 10 through 15, I felt like I executed as good as I had almost all week, and that was a very important time in the tournament, and I'm definitely proud of that kind of fight we showed there in that little stretch.
Was there any kind of like specific physical adjustment within that, or was, like you said, just a matter of like dispersion, evening out, and
Well, I felt like at the beginning of the round I was maybe a little short in my swing, and then I started making a good full turn, and like 7, 8, 9, I felt like I hit those shots really solid, and I looked up and it was just coming out left. And I told Teddy walking off 9T, I was like, man, that one felt pretty good. I don't know why that one's left again. And he's like, well, maybe you're aimed over there, so just try to aim a little further right. And I was like, okay. So I got up there on 10. I felt like I squared up my shoulders a little bit and hit it right up the middle. And then, I think the tee shot I hit into 11 was really the one that kind of propelled me into a great back 9, because that's a hard tee shot for me. Doesn't really suit my eye. And I stepped up there and hit a really good shot, and kind of executed really well from there on out.
Scottie, you've joked before that Meredith would smack you on the head if you ever tried to come home and bring your trophies all around the house. So that's a pretty big one. Where is that one going to go in the house?
Where's it going to go? I don't know. I have a room in our house called the golf room, and that's where all my crap goes. Literally. It's just a room full of all my golf junk, and I got some trophies in there as well, and so that's probably where this one will go. Yeah.
Is it nicely presented, or is it just kind of like all hanging out?
I'd like to say that it's nicely presented, but it's not.
All right, Mike 8, 5, and 6, please.
It's all right. It's nice.
Scottie, you did some things last year that we haven't seen since peak Tiger Woods, but if you look statistically, you're actually trending to be even better. How have you and your team been able to do that?
I don't know. I think we put in a lot of work to showing up here to tournaments to try and do our best, and I have a great team around me, all the way down to. I have a manager that keeps my mind clear. I don't have a ton of responsibilities outside of the game of golf. He does a really good job of letting me go play and do my thing, and he knows what's most important for me, and gives me the ability to go do that. I've got a great coach in Randy. Got a great putting coach in Phil. Got a great caddy. got a great family, a great wife, and a wonderful son. And I feel like off the golf course, my life is wonderful. We live what I would feel like is a pretty simple life at home, and life on the golf course has been great as well. I've been able to win some tournaments, but when we go home, I think sometimes Meredith and I still feel like we're in high school. It's we have great friends, and we're looking forward to getting home this week and just doing normal stuff with our friends. Celebrating a nice win.
Hey, Scottie, over here on your right. Congratulations. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about your relationship with Randy. And then I'm curious, too, what maybe the best coaching tip he's ever given you is.
I would say, Randy, he's taught me since I'm 7 years old. And so, I can't imagine what that's like from his end. As far as I'm concerned, he's just, he's the one who teaches me how to swing it. And, he's pretty much the only guy I consult when it comes to that kind of stuff. And, he's a bit of a crazy person at times, but he's pretty much a savant when it comes to teaching me the golf swing. And, he's a pretty special guy as well. And, I'm thankful for what he's taught me in the game of golf and in life as well. I felt like Randy always did. It's hard to really boil it down to one thing, but I felt like throughout the entire time he taught me, he always did a really good job of helping us all stay patient. I think especially when you're as competitive, I think, as I am, when you're younger and things aren't going the way they're supposed to, Randy always did a really good job of reminding me that it was a long journey to become good at golf. You're going to have ups and downs, and I kind of fought my body for a while there in college, fought some growth spurts in high school, and I wasn't always the best player. I always felt like I could be the best player, but I was a good junior player, a good amateur player, and I did a good job kind of rising up the ranks and in professional golf. And Randy was always right there by my side, helping me stay patient and teaching me little things along the way.
Hey, Scottie. Right here. Congratulations. When you talk about golf being a constant battle with yourself, when you think back to the feelings you had before that Masters Sunday in 2022, the kind of self-doubt, didn't know if you were ready, has your constant accomplishments kind of helped wash away that self-doubt, or is that something that you fight still before rounds like this?
I don't know if self-doubt is the right description. I think if I go to what I was feeling Sunday morning before the Masters in 22, 3 months before that tournament, I had just won my first tournament on the PGA Tour. I won my first tournament in February, and all of a sudden I got a 3-shot lead going into Masters Sunday as the number 1 player in the world. And it was just kind of one of those deals where my wife and I are sitting there and we're like, how did we get to this point? Like, what's gone on in the last couple years of our life that kind of put us here? And I'm just not sure if we were ready for all that it entailed. It's a different lifestyle coming out here and playing now than it was for me 4 or 5 years ago. And it's obviously all great things. I love the position that I'm in, but I think that's more of where those feelings came from. It was just more of the unexpected and not sure if we were, really ready for that. And so then when I think about like a morning like this morning, it's a long morning. Like I said, you work your whole life to have a chance to win tournaments, and what better chance you can have than sitting on a 3-shot lead. And sometimes I wish I didn't care as much as I did, or as I do. It'd be a lot easier if I could just show up and be like, win or lose, I'm still going to go home and do whatever. But sometimes I feel that way. But at the end of the day, this means a lot to me. And, it's pretty special sitting here with a trophy. I'm very grateful, and looking forward to getting home and celebrating.
Up to Mike 13.
Scottie, given what you went through last year in Louisville, is this even sweeter?
It's definitely very sweet sitting here with the trophy. I definitely have a few jokes that I want to say that I'm probably going to keep to myself.
Go for it.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. No, that's a good question. I think. I don't know. Last year sometimes it almost doesn't. It still doesn't almost feel real. It really doesn't, and it's just one of those deals that I really don't know how to describe it. But I can tell you, it's very sweet sitting here with the trophy this year. This was a hard week, a very difficult golf course, and very difficult conditions over the weekend. The winds were high, and it was very challenging. And I'm definitely I'm very pleased to be sitting here with the trophy. It's a pretty sweet feeling.
One more. A big topic of conversation this week has been the driver testing. Was your driver one of the ones tested this week?
Yeah.
And did you have to make any change?
Yeah.
And how did that go? Did that have anything to do with hitting it left today?
No, I think that was my fault. No, so the driver testing is something that regularly happens on tour. My driver did fail at the beginning of this week. We had a feeling that it was going to be coming because I had used that driver for over a year. And so I was kind of fortunate for it to last that long, I felt like. And I would argue that if we're going to test the drivers, we need to be even more robust in the way we test them. And that was the conversation I had with one of the rules officials is I think if it's something that we're going to take seriously, I feel like we're almost going kind of halfway with it right now, where if we're going to test only a third of the field, I mean, if we're going to do it right, leave it up to us as players like the rest of the rules in the game of golf are. This is just, it's a newer rule that we haven't quite gotten right yet. And I think we have some stuff to figure out. And I think if we're going to do it, we might as well do it right and get even more robust, even more strict. And, you can test guys every week if you want. I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't. I mean,
And when you mentioned you mentioned that you didn't feel like you had the prep that you wanted. Was that having to work with the driver?
No, the driver for me was actually really easy because, like I said, we were prepared for it.
Okay.
I'd used my driver for over a year, and with the amount of practice that I do, I felt like I was fortunate for it to last that long. And the team at TaylorMade, Adrian, did a really good job of actually the week of the Byron, we were really focused on getting it back up just in case for that tournament and this one. And Adrian, he did a great job getting me fit for a head, and like I said, we were prepared, so it wasn't really that big of a deal.
Right here, Michael, 3.
Thank you. Scottie, right here. Thank you. When you think about how you responded to the mud ball on Thursday, or how you responded to your birdie putt 18 on Saturday, or how you responded, today with this big win, is there any way you can explain to the ordinary viewer just how intense the experience of playing championship golf is?
It's really hard to describe like what it's like. We kind of describe it as being in the arena. I don't think you can really understand what it's like in the arena until you step in it, and it's all on the line. I've prepared my entire life to become somewhat decent at this game, and to have a chance to win a tournament that I've dreamed about as a kid is a pretty cool feeling. And when you step up out on the first tee, it's pretty dang cool. There's definitely stress. It's definitely challenging, but at the same time, I mean, it's a lot of fun.
Up to Mike 12.
Hi, Scotty. John Rahm obviously fell away over the final few holes. So just wondering when you became aware of that, and did it allow you to relax towards the end of your round?
I didn't really relax too much until I got the ball over the water on 17. Felt like after that I could kind of limp in on 18 with the lead that I had. But, with this closing stretch, you can never be complacent with your game. I had saw that John and I were tied when I was playing number 10, maybe. I think he birdied 10 and 11. I think we were both at 9 under. Is that right? And then I was able to birdie 10, which gave me a one-shot lead at the time. But the leaderboards from 10 through basically through 14 didn't really show me what I was hoping they would show me. They were kind of like at Augusta, the leaderboard's kind of always up there. These leaderboards were changing to like different groups, and if I would look over, it'd be like who's in 25th place, and I'm kind of looking at the leaderboard like, come on, guys, like just show me what's going on at the top. Like that's all good and well, but if people want to know who's in 30th, like look at your phone. I need to know what's going on at the top of the leaderboard. So I didn't really see much on those holes. I just kind of prepared for John to go out and have a great back nine. He's a great player and a great champion, and he's really well at stepping. He does a really good job of stepping up in the big moments, and I was fully expecting him to have a great back nine as well. So I just did my best to keep executing shots and stay in my little bubble. And when I was walking down 15, I just birdied 14 to get to 11 under. And I saw him in the bunker right of 16, and he didn't get it up and down. And so the conversation I had with myself was like if he was at 9, and I think I saw a leaderboard on 13 green. That's what it was. Finally, I saw one on 13 green. He was at 9, I was at 10, and he was playing 15. And so I was like, the best he could be with a bogey there, because I didn't hear any crazy roars, was 9 under. So I was like, all right, I'm at 11. Like a birdie here on 15 will go a long way. I was able to make birdie, and then when I was walking down 16, I saw that he was only at maybe 8, and I was at 12, and so in my head I just told myself, I can't control what these other guys do. If I make 3 pars, golf tournament's mine, and that's what I was focused on.
I was just wondering, when you're in the final group on a Sunday on a major and you're leading, obviously a big crowd's following you. and a lot of people are shouting things at you. Do you ever listen to anything people are saying, or are you just so zoned out and in the moment?
I mean, I think inevitably you can kind of hear when they're like right there shouting at you. It's a bit of a weird deal. I don't know why people feel the need to yell when they're that close, but you definitely hear some of the stuff. But at the end of the day, like, my head's down. I'm focused on the task at hand and staying patient and trying to execute.
If you're going to run for president, you've got a few voters out there.
Yeah, I guess winning never hurts the amount of votes you'll get.
Thanks for your time, Scottie. Congrats again.
All right, thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.